All right, today we are diving right into the heart of the Islamic faith. We're going to explore the 6 core beliefs that really shape the worldview for, well, over 1 billion people. Let's jump in.
Okay, but before we jump into the list, let's just pause for a second and ask a bigger question. What does it truly mean to believe in something? Is it just a thought, a feeling in your gut? Well, in Islam, the answer is super specific, and honestly, it's the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
That concept is called Iman. And here's the thing, it's not just some passive, abstract idea. Iman is really a 3-part deal. It has to be something you genuinely feel in your heart, something you actually say with your tongue, and this is the crucial part, something you prove through your actions. So it's a total, active commitment.
Okay, so if that's what faith is, what does a person with Iman actually believe in? This is where things get really clear. The entire structure of the faith is built on what are known as the 6 pillars of belief.
That's right, there are 6 of them. You can think of these as the absolute, non-negotiable truths that a Muslim has to accept for their faith to really be considered complete.
And here they are, the whole shebang: belief in God, angels, books, prophets, the Day of Judgment, and divine destiny. This list right here, this is basically our roadmap for the rest of this explainer. We're going to tackle them one by one, starting at the very top with God and the unseen world.
All right, section 1, God and the unseen. You know, it all has to start somewhere. And in Islam, it starts with God and this idea of a reality that's beyond what we can see and touch.
So the first pillar is the absolute bedrock of Islam. It's called Tawheed, and it's the belief in the absolute oneness of God. This isn't just there's one God. It's the idea that there is only one creator, totally unique, who can't be divided and has no partners. I mean, this is, without a doubt, the single most important belief in all of Islam.
So you might be wondering, how do Muslims understand the nature of this one singular God? Well, it's through what are known as the 99 names or attributes. And to be super clear, these are not different gods. Think of them as 99 different windows into understanding the qualities of that one single creator. Qualities like the merciful, the all-knowing, and the just.
Okay, the second pillar takes us even deeper into that unseen world, belief in angels. Now, forget the chubby babies with wings you see in paintings. In Islam, angels are powerful, serious beings created from light, and their entire purpose is to serve God without question. They're messengers, they carry out divine commands. I mean, think of the angel Gabriel, who Muslims believe is the one who delivered God's revelations directly to the Prophet Muhammad.
Next up, guidance for humanity. This follows so logically, right? If there's a God and there are messengers like angels, then the next question is, how does guidance actually get to us humans? And that brings us to our next 2 pillars, which are totally intertwined.
That guidance comes to us through revealed books. The most central text, of course, is the Quran. Muslims believe it's not just inspired by God, but the actual literal word of God. And if you look here, you can see a breakdown of its major themes. I mean, it covers everything, from who God is and what prophets do, all the way to our purpose as humans and how to live justly.
And this brings us to a really important distinction, kind of like the difference between the message and the messenger. So on one side, you've got the revealed books. That's the divine message itself. On the other side, you have the prophets. They are the human messengers that God chose to deliver that message. And Islam recognizes a whole long line of them, people you've probably heard of like Moses and Jesus. It all culminates with the Prophet Muhammad, who is seen as the final messenger who delivered the final book, the Quran.
All right, our final section, judgment, destiny, and time. Now we're getting into the really big picture stuff. We're talking about the end of time, what ultimate justice looks like, and the very nature of destiny.
So the 5th pillar is the belief in a final day of judgment. And the key word here is accountability. The idea is that this life is basically a test, and after it's over, everyone will be brought back to life and will have to answer for the things they did, both the good and the bad.
Yeah, and this verse from the Quran, it doesn't really mince words, does it? It speaks directly to this idea of ultimate cosmic justice. You know, that good actions ultimately lead to a reward, like paradise, and, well, bad actions lead to consequences. It really puts a lot of moral weight on the choices you make every single day.
And that brings us to the 6th and final pillar, belief in divine destiny, or qadar. Now this one can get a little complex, so stick with me. It's the belief that God has complete knowledge of everything and control over everything. But, and this is a huge but, it's generally not seen as wiping out free will.
The common understanding is that God, being all-knowing, already knows the choices you're going to make, but you're still the one who freely makes them. And because of that, you're still responsible for them.
So when you zoom out and look at all 6 of these pillars together, you realize it's so much more than just a checklist of beliefs. They actually form a complete, coherent worldview. They're designed to answer those huge questions we all ask. Where did we come from? What are we doing here? Where are we going? It's really a blueprint for understanding life, morality, and your own purpose.
And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. It kind of goes beyond just Islam. How does having a framework of core beliefs, any clear, structured set of beliefs, how does that end up shaping not just what a person does